last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. And I won't have your name to call, 'cause I will be the last to fall. God bless America, land that I love, in the sun and garden, moonlight with light from above, from the mountains.
I'm ready to pull down the chin guard, strap up the helmet, and go. Put some eye black on. That got me so pumped. Those guys were awesome. I don't even know who they are. I gotta find who they are. You guys, I don't know what's gonna happen tonight with the protesters and everything else. I don't really care. I believe at this point, New York is in play. God bless you guys. Hope everybody can hear me. I'm looking, got this everything going on. Amazing, absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen the video I put out today, I'll just go into it really quick. But before that, little ground rules, what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking a little bit before he gets on stage. I'm going to have the video showing as well without the sound, because last time they played some Elvis Presley song, and for 7 seconds, that's all it was on there. And YouTube said, we're going to have to slap you for that. So got to be very careful with the audio. So I'm only going to be able to play basically when he comes on stage. But you're going to see everything. You're going to hear every single word he says in New York. Personally, I hope it's a different kind of speech. I've been listening to some of the people that they've been interviewing on TV. And these people, some of them are Democrats. Some of them are people who didn't like Trump. And they want to hear a message. What are you going to do as president to help change New York City? Bronx, Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. Bronx is its own little place, man. I don't know how AOC and the Democrats are going to change this up, because you can't really tell people in the Bronx BS anymore. They've had it. They're over it. This state is in play. So let me just give you a quick rundown, since we're a little bit early, which is good. In my last video, I just said, which I just posted about half an hour ago, in 2016, when Trump won the election, Hillary took New York, the state of New York, by 21 points. When Dementia Joe won the election, he took the state by 23 points. So Trump got crushed in New York by both Hillary and Dementia Joe. But this is the interesting part that nobody on TV is going to tell you. They are not going to break it down for you. Most of the state, almost the entire state of New York, was red. People don't like to talk about that. A lot of pissed off people outside of the 5 boroughs of New York. Most of the state was indeed red. So when they're on television and they're talking all that crap and they're giving people, oh, no, he'll never turn New York red. He already turned most of the state red. It's New York that's a problem. So here's how Trump can win New York, and this is why the Democrats are terrified. When Dementia Joe won New York, he took New York City, which is arguably one of the biggest cities in the world. He took the black vote in New York City 94-6. He absolutely obliterated Trump based on the votes, 94-6. He took the Hispanic voter group 75-25. Today's poll that was referenced as of May 15th, Trump was only behind Dementia Joe by 9 points. So understand what I just said. Dementia Joe won in 2020, supposedly, and he did it by 23 points. That gap has shrunk to 9 points. New York is in play. In order for Dementia Joe to beat Trump in New York, he is going to have to continue to get basically 90% of the black vote. Trump only needs to chip away this much. That's what not a lot of people are looking at. He just needs to chip away this much. That's why these little rallies like here in Bronx, I say little because it's a 130-acre park, and in this 130-acre park, they only let Trump put in 3,500 people. That's a never mind. It's a crock, but 3,500. As I've said in my videos recently, 3,500 turns into 7,000 very quickly. 7,000 turns into 14,000 very quickly. Once these people start talking and that message spreads, that 94% that Dementia Joe and the Democrats have counted on now begins to shrink. I don't need to take all of New York. I don't need to just turn over, quote, flip New York. I just need to chip away. If I can chip away 4 or 5 points here or there, let me get 4 or 5 points in Brooklyn. Let me get 4 or 5 points in the Bronx on the black side. And if I can do the same with Hispanics, if I can get 4 or 5 here or there, he wins New York. That is what you have to focus on. That is what the message the Republicans have, not Republicans, Trump has to get out there. You don't have to win all of New York City. You don't have to pull in all 7 or 8 million votes. Don't have to do it. You just need to shorten the gap. And if he shortens the gap, the rest of the state goes for Trump. Democrats, MSNBC, CNN don't want to talk about that. That's the real data here. So if they talk about how small this rally was and how it didn't really do much, they're lying. Because he's not trying to cast a net for the entirety of New York City and all 5 boroughs. He's trying to cast a net for those people who are really upset, who are tired of what's going on, who are tired of walking down the street and getting mugged or whatever part's even worse, who's tired of seeing their money go to these newcomers, seeing ATM cards going out to these people who have never been here before, staying in luxury hotels. That's pissing a lot of people off. And AOC, with all her talk on television, that's fine, because she doesn't talk to the people in her district. She doesn't go in there and say, hey, listen, what can we do right now to help? Because she gets shouted out. She gets chased out of her own district. So I think we're going to see a lot of that today in terms of what's happening. So let me check the screen before I go much further to make sure what's going on here. All right, so we got Andrew Giuliani is on stage right now, so we're good. So that being said, you do have a charge tonight. I do charge for this, and it's a really big fee. You got to do this.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
That's all you got to do. Just click the like button, click it often, click it until you can't click it no more, and just keep clicking it. All right, just do that. All right, so what else we got here? Oh, so contest. Let me just show you guys something. Some people have said, do people really win when they win this stuff? So a bunch of you who won the gift certificates to the restaurant, you should have received it. Check your email. I've been sending them out. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm behind on the sweatshirts. So bear with me, because people kind of messed up last week when we did our contest. People who thought they won the gift certificates thought they won the sweatshirts, and so I don't like saying no to anybody. I shouldn't say that, but I've gone ahead and ordered some more shirts. And just to let you know, there's one guy, Zach won one on the first rally. Hey Barry, I'm happy to report I just got the Trump sweatshirt in the mail today. It fits me perfectly. Here's a picture. I had my mom take of me wearing it. Congratulations, Zach. Glad it fits. And yes, you do win. So what we're going to do here, and I'm going to give away one right now while we're waiting for Trump to get on. You won't miss it. Don't worry. I'm not just over talking. I can see what's going on TV. So we're going to ask 4 questions today, sometime during this broadcast. And these 4 questions are going to be for $25 gift certificates to Buffalo Wild Wings. So if there's a Buffalo Wild Wings near you, go ahead and answer. If you just want to win and email me and tell me somebody else can get it, that's fine too. So today you're going to see a theme in these questions, but we're going to give away one right now. Someone's going to win a $25 gift certificate to Buffalo Wild Wings right now. And all you have to do is answer a question and be the first person to respond. Now understand, this stream is pretty quick. It's fast. I'm going to look for the first answer, and hopefully I'll get it right. I know some of you are going to have to Google this. I made them a little bit tougher today so we can have time to see who comes in first. All right, so the first giveaway is right now. You guys ready? You can only enter if you pay the entry fee.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
All right, here is the first question, which I will read, and then I will quickly look to see who comes in with it. In 2016, this world leader challenged Trump to a physical fist fight. Who was it? All right, we'll leave that up there for a little bit so you guys can go ahead and read that. I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking. Who was it? Somebody challenged Trump to a fist fight in 2016. Well, Putin? Nope, not Joe Biden. No, definitely not Joe Biden. Scrolling the rock. Nope, I'm still looking. I'm still looking. Nope, it wasn't Macron. Wasn't Hillary. Come on, guys. Who challenged Trump to a fist fight? It's going to be tough. Bernie Sanders? Nope. Wow, this one looks like it's going to be a tough one. Robert De Niro, somebody says. That's too funny. You guys are cracking me up. Robert De Niro. All right, so Trudeau, no, that would be an easy one. Christie, I mean, he couldn't get out of his own way. Schumer, Salazar, Chavez, I'm still looking. Boris, nope, nope, nope. Oh, wow, this is a tough one here, huh? Owner of Kim Jong-un, nope. Wow, this is a wrestling guy, Mark Rubio. Wow, this is a stumper. Man, wait a minute. Manuel Obrador? I don't know who that is. Manuel Obrador. Some people are saying Manuel Obrador. Nope, that's not who it was. Oh, wow. I might have to go to the second question and come back to that. I still don't see the answer. I'm looking. Somebody says Maduro, Mitt Romney, Reince Priebus. All right, so I'm going to give you a hint. And oh, bingo! Wait a minute! I just saw it. Where did it go? And dude, you won last time. So I don't know if I can give it to you again, but yes, it was Duarte. But it's $25. You did get the first answer, and I will give it to you. You just beat somebody. You should have got your other one earlier today that you won from 3 weeks ago, but this one will go out quicker. Yes, it was the president of the Philippines actually challenged Trump to an actual fist fight. It was pretty nuts, but he did do that. So you're going to get your gift certificate, $25 to Buffalo Wild Wings. Thanks for playing that. Yeah, some of you guys are getting it now, but it was too late. It was the president of the Philippines, but that's how easy it is. You just have to be ready. The next one might be even a little bit harder, but it's out there, so get your Googling fingers ready. But that's what we do here. We have fun with the audience. We have fun. We talk to you guys. So now I'm going to push this through because there's no music playing, so you can hear this woman who's from the Bronx as she's talking. So let's hear what she's got to say.
Push to the side. Our communities, especially poor minority communities. Let me make this clear. When I say poor, I mean black, white, Hispanic, Jewish, Asian. All of us are in this together.
There we are.
Italians, all of us are in it. All of us are in this together. All right? This is not a black issue. This is not a white issue. This is not a Democratic issue. This is not a Republican issue. Mm-hmm. This is a human issue.
Love it.
We got
Love
severe poverty in the Bronx. We got unemployment. We got crime.
Can you guys all hear that? Let me know that you can hear it. If I have to make the volume louder on it, let me know.
It's on every damn corner. Not to mention liquor stores and weed spots and safe injection sites all over our communities. We're looking for Donald Trump to deliver for our communities, to make the major investments. Let's replace the drugs and the guns with hammers and nails and drills and steel workers.
Nice, very nice.
Use our young men. Use our young men.
AOC must be freaking out right about now.
To rebuild the housing. Use them, pay them decent salary so they can afford to take care of their children and their family and help lift us up out of poverty.
Better? Somebody asked me to turn up a little bit.
Keep your welfare. We don't want your welfare. We want jobs. Create jobs. Decent paying jobs. Educational opportunities.
All right, thanks, Anthony.
Initiatives that'll help our young men avoid incarceration. Stop letting them go back in the street to commit more crime. Mm-hmm. Put real initiatives in place that will save their lives. Sometimes jail, sometimes people are not arrested, they're rescued. So when we continuously have this revolving door, we're actually setting our young men and women up to be killed, to kill themselves or someone else. This is a serious conversation. This ain't no joke.
All right.
There are lives, human lives that are dead. Not to mention the fentanyl poisoning.
She's covering it all.
Lives? were lost due to fentanyl poisoning. I also have a son, Rayvon, who got a hold of some bad cocaine that was laced with fentanyl. So I have 2 sons dead in the grave in less than 3 years. Hassan murdered, Rayvon fentanyl poisoning. These are real issues. I'm a real person. I go to work every single day, and I can't even afford to pay rent, or I have to make a decision to pay rent or buy food. I look in my refrigerator right now. My refrigerator is empty because I decided to do my laundry. Then we have the resources that we barely have.
That is a winning issue. Trump needs to hit that hard. These people in the Bronx and some of the other boroughs don't like that.
Every here needs to rise up and get fighting mad. Get fighting mad. And make sure that you are registered to vote and go out there and you vote up and down the line, not just the presidency. The local elections are more important than the presidency. Get rid of AOC. Vote her ass out.
They said about 3,500 was capacity. That's all they were letting in.
I have nothing to lose. So I can stand up here and I can say this. None of you here are paid to be here. She got on color TV this morning and said that Trump busted in these people and paid everyone out here. Who here got paid to be here today? Are you here because you know that this is the time in history that you're in the right place at the right time and you need to be here today? We don't want the Republicans to take our vote for granted like the Democrats did for 50 years. Get Tina out. Oh, vote in Tina. I'm sorry. Tina Forte. That's right. And I also like to give a quick shout out to Latina Brown, and to Derek Gibson for organizing that pre-Trump rally that was over in the South Bronx the other day, which had a lot to do with the momentum that we have here today. So we need to keep this going. All right, we need to be true to who we are. Don't be afraid. Don't back down. Get down there, get out there, and vote like your life depends on it, because it does.
Got to check the volume here because in between speakers they play music, but that woman hit the nail on the head. I mean, when she's talked about the newcomers, and somebody had asked me in my email, why do I call them newcomers? Because certain people who watch out in the algorithm doesn't like that word, doesn't like you to say that word. It's a bad word here on YouTube. But she said, now we got another guy coming up. Let me see if make sure they're not playing music. This is the other guy who basically helped coordinate the rally in Bronx last week or so. Is he ready to talk? Yes, sir. Let's go.
If you are a Hispanic, si usted es hispano, diga huepa cuando yo cuente hasta 3, huepa para Donald Trump. 1, 2 y 3.
I don't know what he said. No subtitles.
1, 2 y 3.
Anybody speak Spanish? What is he saying?
Ocasio y Yujarau. Richie Torre. By the way, I am Reverend Ruben Diaz Sr., and in behalf of the people of the Bronx, in behalf of the New York Hispanic Clergy Organization, and in behalf of the Christian Community Church that I'm the pastor of here in the South Bronx, I would like to join all of you welcoming Donald Trump to the Bronx.
Yeah, baby.
Come on,
Donald
show some
Trump
love
is
and click
welcome
that
here in
like
the
button.
Bronx. Lo que ha hecho Donald Trump what he has done today, unite the Bronx, black and Hispanic, paying respect to the Bronx. No one ever did that. Only Donald Trump. No one ever has come to the Bronx like this. Only Donald Trump. No one has cared about us like this. Only Donald Trump.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that AOC and none of these other politicians have even visited these people?
No one has looked at us. Only no one had said the Bronx and the black and Hispanic in the Bronx have to be paying attention to only. Por eso, that's why today we are telling everyone else that our candidate for the next president of the United States is no one else, only. No queremos a nadie más sino a que lo oiga. I want AOC to hear this. This is the South Bronx. This is our home. This is our borough. This is our county. We want Donald Trump. Donald Trump is welcome here. 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 Eso es así. Por eso, that's why I'm going to close. I mean, this is incredible. But I want to close my remarks by saying
Thank you.
that I want you to join me. To join me. Raise your hand. Repeat with me. Today, I promise that I will vote for Donald Trump to be our next president of the United States of America. And I praise the Lord, our Savior, because He make a miracle. He giving us a beautiful day. They say that it's going to be thunderstorm. The thunderstorm is coming. He's here. Donald Trump.
Wow. So I can guarantee you that CNN and MSNBC will have a problem that people were raising their hand and praying out loud in unison. You know they are going to clip that and say it's a cult. Oh my God, it's a cult. Because they don't understand. I'm sure we're going to have some people in the comment stream because the trolls have to come out. They have to. They have to do anything that they possibly can at this point to try and stop what may occur. They're stuck with it. They have to do it. I understand that. I understand you got to troll in here. You got to come in here and try to knock it, and try to knock people off. But that hasn't happened. AOC, you want to go on, CNN or MSNBC and spout your BS? How about you try to organize a rally for yourself in your home district? Let us know when you can draw this kind of attention. There's only 3,500 people in that venue right now, and I guarantee you across all the different networks, between my stream, other people's stream, I believe Fox is going to have it on for a while as well, you're going to see millions of people will watch this event in New York City. Millions of people will be watching this tonight. They wouldn't be watching AOC, and they also wouldn't be praying for you. I know what you did. She tweeted something that was absolutely horrible earlier. She it was raining like cats and dogs early this morning, and someone who doesn't even practice said, God is good. How blasphemous. How blasphemous. And plus you're wishing your fellow New Yorkers. You were hoping that your fellow New Yorkers couldn't exercise their right of free speech. That is piss poor. Unbelievable. Tim, I believe it says Tim. Put it this way: if loving my country makes me part of a cult, then I'm part of a cult. This is love for our country. We want our government. Yeah, absolutely. Count me in as well. Trump 2024, absolutely. The wedge that the Democrats are trying to make between blacks and whites won't work much longer. Everyone is waking up to what's really going on. That wedge, and what they keep saying, and I understand James Comey went on television as well, and he's like, oh my God, if Trump comes in, this is going to happen. They have nothing, literally nothing to run on but doom and gloom. Why is that? You ever notice they never say anything good about Dementia Joe? They're not spending, and even trolls in here, they don't spend time promoting their candidate. Not at all. Hey, listen, we're for Dementia Joe because he's done this, he's done that, and we believe he's the right guy. No, it's all anti-Trump. It's all anti-Trump voters. It's everything we can do to make him look bad. Because you can't talk about Dementia Joe. You cannot even bring up anything. Nothing. These are real people in a real part of New York who are basically middle-class people, and there's nothing wrong with that, who are having a hard time paying for groceries, are having a hard time paying for rent, are having a hard time dealing with the crime in their neighborhoods that Alvin Bragg is ignoring so that he can go after Trump. These are real people. These are issues that impact their daily lives. Like I said in my video earlier, the boogeyman under the bed strategy isn't going to work. The boogeyman that they want people to be afraid of isn't as imposing as the reality of the life that they're living in the Bronx. The life that they're living in the Bronx is actually worse than the boogeyman. And this is Byron Donalds about to approach the stage. Byron Donalds is out there. He's got some MAGA hats. By the way, why is MAGA bad? Why is MAGA a bad thing? Why is saying make America great again a bad thing? So when they say MAGA people this and MAGA people that, please don't do anything. Why is that a bad thing? That's not bad. We want to make America great again. We want to make Brooklyn great again. All right, so here we got Byron Donalds.
Minutes. That's the word. And so I think it's really important right now to let all of New York know that the Bronx is now MAGA country.
Love the hat.
Hold on, let's get serious. Let's get serious now. Let's get serious. All through this country, Joe Biden and the crazy Democrats are destroying America. All through this country, they are raising prices more than you can afford. They are limiting our ability to actually make our own energy here in the United States so we can prosper. They leave our borders open and flood all of our cities, including New York City, with migrants who shouldn't be here. They are not leading on the world stage, and our enemies are on the move. They are suppressing your free speech. They are lying to you. They are cheating you out of the prosperity that should be yours. But in about 5 months, there is one guy who's going to turn all that around, and he's the 47th president, Donald J. Trump. Now, you guys got to channel ladder, man, if you want that to pick up. But let me tell you this.
Can you hear what they're saying?
Whoa. This is This is a family affair. This is for all of the people across our country. We say, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Oh, I'm telling you, Bronx, you're making me feel good because here's what I know.
Making me feel good too, man.
Your energy, your support, we're going to do something that the media says can't be done. The Democrats take New York for granted. They don't believe it will be done. But in November, we can turn New York State red.
It'd be over. It would be absolutely over if that happens.
Last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to lead the stage because there's somebody I know y'all definitely want to hear from. I know you want to hear from him. In our politics, they tell us that black votes are Democrat votes.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, don't boo me, boo them. They're the ones with the camera. Tell them.
I can tell you he's telling the truth, personally.
They tell us that if you're Puerto Rican or Dominican or Peruvian or Venezuelan or any other nationality out of Latin America, that you can't be a conservative. That's what they tell us. But I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
That's true. That's true.
And I know the conservative streak that is in the heart of New Yorkers. And so we're going to do a really big thing in this country in 2024. We're going to change politics. We're going to change the status quo. There are no racial votes in America anymore. There are American votes in America, and we are going to save the greatest country man has ever known.
Love this guy, man. I wish they had an overhead shot.
Hey, real quick, I want to let y'all know, because I knew I was coming to the Bronx. I was in my pinstripe suit and everything. Gotta make sure, because you never know who shows up.
I'm going to try and get Tina Forte on the show.
Man, I love y'all too, New York.
What's up, Chris?
Let's do something amazing. Let's do something spectacular. Let's do something monumental. Let's together make America great again. God bless you, New York. God bless the United States of America.
Yes, let's make America great again, unashamedly, unabashedly, with no fear, without people calling you names because you wear a certain hat, because you're wearing a certain jersey or t-shirt. Enough with this. Enough with it. Bringing the country together. All the guys on the other side, AOC, the Jasmine Crockett, who the other ones, the rest of the so-called squad, all they want to do is sow division. All they want to do is keep people apart. They've been giving their marching orders. They're getting paid to say certain things. It's amazing to me that these people were even, well, we don't know, but supposedly voted in. I am so over it. I mean, it just, as a black man, it bothers the hell out of me that they just take black people for granted. I don't know how they're going to respond to this. I'm telling you right now, because in order to respond to this, let's talk about that for a second. In order for the Democrats to respond to what they're seeing and what they're going to continue to see in New York, they're going to have to mobilize something. And so I don't know who they're going to mobilize. People hate AOC. She's got her little group of following, but she ain't going to draw a crowd like that, and she's not going to move the needle. They can't possibly send Kamala Harris here. That ain't going to move the needle. Who are you going to send in? You're going to have to use the media, which nobody's watching. You think that Joy Reid and Al Sharpton are still going to move the needle for Democrats? I don't think so. Not after what's been going on and what people are seeing, and how many people are actually out there that can multiply into talk. And remember, we just need this many. Just let me put my finger. Just need that many. Don't need to turn the entire of New York 5 boroughs red. Just enough. The rest of the state will take over. Who are you going to send in? Eric Adams? No, that ain't going to work. He's been paying all these ATM cards for the so-called newcomers. So who's on their bench that's going to go into New York City and start saying, here's what we can do. Here's what we'd like to see happen. Because anything that they would say would go against what Dementia Joe and his administration have been pushing. The media is already in the tank, so I doubt they have any influence. So I'm being serious. I don't know who else that they can push in. I don't know if they have anybody that can make any inroads. It's very interesting to me. And I know I left Dementia Joe out because there's no way, there's no earthly way he can get out there. Ain't gonna happen. You know, one thing I do, the stereotype that does fit, is that the New York crowd, the New York people, they don't cater to BS. And when he comes, if he were to come out there waddling with, it ain't gonna work. He can't draw flies. You're gonna bring Hillary out, or you're gonna have to dust off Obama and send him into New York City. Him and Michelle. Are you gonna send those two into New York City and try and save it? But at this point, anything, and I think you guys can agree, anything that the Democrats do now is only a reflex. It's only a response. They didn't take the initiative to go out and do anything or say anything to these people in New York. So now they're stuck. They're stuck having to respond. And these people, and like I said, I hope that Trump makes a good message tonight. It makes a great pitch. This has to be a little bit different than his other speeches. He's a New Yorker, so I trust he's going to say the right thing. But what the heck can the Democrats say? Yeah, we gave away your money to the newcomers. Yeah, crime is horrible. Yeah, what are you going to say? The police department, the fire department, they're all with Trump. So at this point, New York is in play. If I seem a little excited, because I know it is, I've talked to some relatives in New York. I've talked to some relatives in Connecticut, and they're like, we've had it. We're done with this stuff. And now we're seeing them talk about basically launching something else that possibly could cause lockdowns again. Good luck with that. If he drew 100,000 people to Wildwood, given the opportunity, and I'm looking at this crowd right here, I know he was only allowed 3,500, but I want to see a drone shot of the overflow. And one of the things I had heard earlier from, what was her name, Savannah Hernandez? Savannah Hernandez was a lot of people in the Bronx didn't even know this was happening because the media in New York wasn't covering it. That is something else we have to basically understand as a group, is that they need people like me and people like Lou Valentino and people like some of the other people out there who are pushing this message, because they're not going to see it. They rely on keeping New York blacked out. I'm sure tomorrow Howard Stern, who's in New York, is going to talk a whole bunch of crap. All the news stations are going to talk a whole bunch of crap. The radio stations, a whole bunch of crap. This has to be grassroots. People have to basically invade New York and get the word out and let everybody know, here's what happened. They made a big mistake by trying to keep Trump in New York for this trial. And they're about to make another big mistake. And that other big mistake, they're going to convict him. I just feel it coming, that they are stupid enough to do that they are stupid enough to convict Trump. And if they convict him, go ahead and count it as a landslide. That's how I feel. Age of Awakening says here, my mother watches the mainstream news and all those things I see on YouTube. I talked to her about, and she just clueless about all of what is said. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't do it. Howard Stern is a sellout. We don't want Big Mike. Oh, I can't even go there. You guys are killing me with that one. F Stern. I didn't mean to get you guys all riled up about Howard Stern. So you're not missing anything. Like I said, I have to cut the music. They're in between speakers right now, so they're not doing anything. Jill looks like an old Alice Cooper. By the way, Alice Cooper has changed. So that's a little bit different. I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But Antonio Brown, the football player who's kind of wacky, he came out today and endorsed Trump. Does it mean anything? I don't know. But it just puts it in the face of more black people that Antonio Brown endorsed Trump. I'm sure guys like Stephen A. Smith are going to trash him for saying it. They have to. Everything they do is a response. Everything they do is a reflex. Everything they do is a counterattack because they have no message. I cannot believe they give AOC so much airtime. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what are you doing with it? You're on television talking about the election. All right, well, why don't you spend some time talking about what you are going to do for people in various cities? What you and Congress are going to do. Why doesn't Dementia Joe talk about what you're going to do? Problem is, why didn't you do it? You're at the, coming into the twilight of your fourth year in office, and now you're going to tell people what they can do. You couldn't actually do it before. That's interesting. No time to watch the media and now get back to work. Identify as non-binary. Love that. Alguna says, yes, she does. FJB. What about Whoopi? They're all okay. Not you guys are talking about some of these people about Whoopi and F Stern and everything else. Let me go ahead and jump to the second question, because these next couple of questions, as you saw from the first one, are very interesting. They're antagonistic questions. This one here I found to be really pretty interesting. By the way, let's see where we go here. Question number 2. All right. This one will probably blow you guys away. This is for a $25 gift certificate to Buffalo Wild Wings. The wife of this Hollywood mogul took the picture of Trump on his book, The Art of the Deal. If you've seen the front of his book and he's sitting there in a pose, this Hollywood mogul's wife took the picture. Amazing. It's amazing that his wife took this picture. And so, whose wife was it? And I guarantee you're gonna be shocked. You're probably gonna be shocked. Whose wife was it? All right, so let's see if somebody comes up with this. The wife of this Hollywood mogul took the picture for. I'm looking, I'm waiting, I'm having to stare to make sure I get the right person. Come on, I'm sure everyone's Googling it right now because you won't believe the answer of whose wife was actually working with Donald Trump when he did that book. So let me see if you can get it. Sharpton, nope. Nope. Any interim, go ahead and hit this.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
Let me go here. Waiting for it. Nope, not Steven Spielberg, not Stephen King. Close to Steven Spielberg. Looking to see if you guys help me out if you see the answer when I say it. I'm looking. I don't see it. George Clooney, Robert De Niro. Nope, none of these guys so far. Not Harvey Weinstein. Another Hollywood mogul, and he absolutely. I'll give you a hint. He absolutely hates Donald Trump. And I'm looking to see if I see the answer. This is how I get myself in trouble because it comes in. Nope, not John Voight, not Lucas, not James Cameron. Nope, Tony Schwartz, Oliver Stone, George Martin. Nope, there we go. I think this was the first one. I hope this was the right one. Donna H. Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner's wife was working with Trump when he did the book, The Art of the Deal. Can you believe that? As much as Rob Reiner is friggin' batshit crazy, his wife back then was working with Trump on his book. What you're going to see in some of these questions today are people who were friends with Donald Trump, who absolutely loved working with Donald Trump. And all of a sudden, in 2016, he turned into, a racist. All of a sudden, he's a bad guy. So it's so funny to me when I see some people call us a cult and everything else. Well, they were cult members. They all loved Donald Trump. They loved his money. They loved his celebrity. They loved being around him. And Rob Reiner's wife was the photographer for the book Art of the Deal. Unreal. So, Donna H., you have won a $25 gift certificate to Buffalo Wild Wings. Do me a favor. What I need you to do is go ahead and send me an email with your information, name, just your name. I don't need any personal information, just your name and your email, and that's all I need to get a $25 gift certificate out to you. Now, I noticed down in the comments that somebody complained and said they got stiffed on the hoodie. I don't stiff anybody, not at all. That's not what I do. That's not what I'm here for. I'm a one-man operation. I'm not CNN. I don't have a crew. I don't even use moderators because I don't care if people, talk crap. I can only see what I can see. And if I see some people saying I had the name first, I try to accommodate them as well. But as I showed you, Zach got his sweatshirt. And I'm ordering more so I can give out more sweatshirts as well. And Buffalo Wild Wings is working with me so we can go ahead and get out more gift certificates. So we've given out 2 of those tonight. And I'm doing my best, bro. Nobody's getting stiffed. When I look at the responses, just like I did right there, I try to make sure I pick the person that I first see. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm not. Dude, it's a hoodie and a gift certificate. Nobody's looking to stiff somebody for a hoodie and a gift certificate. Not gonna happen. Because somebody is going to win. Again, let me just show you in case you don't think so. Hey Barry, I'm happy to report I just got the Trump sweatshirt in the mail today. It fits me perfectly. Here's a picture I had my mom take of me wearing it. Doing my best, bro. A lot of people watching. I don't charge anything except for this.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
And sorry, if you thought you won, you know what? If you thought you won and you didn't get one, go ahead and send me an email and let me see if I can look it up and see if you were the one. But, don't try to scam something. It's a sweatshirt, bro, if you even tried to enter last time. But in any event, that's where we are right now. We're getting ready to see Trump. Right now, they're just interviewing some people in the crowd. Nobody is speaking on stage right now, so I'll cut to it as soon as we get there. Biden is the one that stiffs us. Yeah, he's stiffing everybody in this country. Wendy says, I grew up in Queens. The Donald was always on the news for something he loved by the View in these days. Yeah, they just completely flipped because he wasn't on their side anymore. You understand, if you know somebody, like I've known some people who were racist. I've known them. You probably know them. I'd rather you have the hood on than try to hide. You know who these people are. So, you don't turn racist. You're racist for a long, long time. You don't all of a sudden just become that way. So that's when I knew it was all manufactured. That's when I knew this was all BS. And that's why I completely ignored it as a black guy, because I saw the videos of him hanging out with Al Sharpton. I saw the videos and pictures of him hanging out with Jesse Jackson. I remember how he was revered by Howard Stern. All these people who are now so apprehensive about talking about Trump were right in his grill back then. What happened? What happened that caused you people to all of a sudden just flip? Oh, I know. He ran for president as a Republican. That was the cardinal sin. And that was what they got ticked off about. I want to show you guys something going on right here. It's the actual, I had to cut the sound right there. The crowd size, they were doing it. And it looks like at this point, as I heard real quick, they're starting to play the Lee Greenwood song. So this might be the man getting ready to come up on the stage. Again, they're playing music, so I can't cut to it, but I'll leave this up so you guys can all see when he comes up. It's 6:25. I know New York has a strict, yep, there he is. New York has a strict time limit. They're going to want him on the stage and off the stage at certain times. I don't know if they have lights in the entire park. They may have to get people out. But he's walking up to the stage, as you can see right now. So unlike the last one, where he was like an hour late getting on, he's prompt right now. That tells me that the city is probably giving him a hard time with the permit. And he'll be talking very soon. Yeah, Stern is a sicko. Poopy Goldberg, love it. Yeah, Poopy Goldberg. So don't worry. As soon as the music stops and he walks up to the mic, we will go with the audio and hear him talk. This has got to be really heartwarming for him. A born New Yorker, somebody who's lived there basically his entire life, was warmly accepted by the New York community until the day he decided to run for president. This must make him feel really good, really good. And I don't think it's the last one. I think we're going to see him do other venues. Like I said in one of my videos, I'd love to see him go into Madison Square Garden if they would let him hold it there. I'd like to see him do it in Yankee Stadium. I think if he had to invent a Yankee Stadium and invited people to come, that he could get a huge crowd. And this may just serve as an appetizer. They may have wanted to see, can we really draw in New York? Will people want to come see us in New York City? Yes. The answer obviously right now is yes. The Democrats have got to be freaking out, absolutely freaking out. I know security must have been just Rambo tight, and this guy's just sucking it all in. So he's heading to the microphone. As soon as we hear him start to talk, see the lips move. It's got to be emotional for him.
Oh, hello, everybody. Thank you very much. This is some turnout. This is some turnout. And I want to thank New York's finest. They just brought a lot of additions. So we have people, thousands of people outside that can't even get in, but they'll get in eventually. We appreciate it. New York's finest. Hello, New York City, and hello to all of the incredible, tough, strong, hard-working American patriots right here in the Bronx. Who would think? Who would think?
Love it.
I'm thrilled to be back in the city I grew up in, the city I spent my life in, the city I helped build, and the city that we all love, New York City. And I'm here tonight to declare that we are going to turn New York City around, and we are going to turn it around very, very quickly.
Nice. Go after it.
We're going to bring safety back to our streets. We're going to bring success back to our schools. We're going to bring prosperity back to every neighborhood and every borough of the greatest city in our land. We're going to reduce taxes. We're going to bring businesses and big taxpayers back to New York. Got to bring them back. Got to bring them back. And we're going to make New York bigger, better, and more beautiful than ever before. And that includes right here in the Bronx. And it's going to be done and funded starting on January 20th, directly from our great and beautiful White House. Is that okay? For my whole life, I always thought that this city is a monumental testament to the power of the American spirit and the American dream. When New York started as a small, rugged Dutch trading post near the tip of Manhattan in 1624, what you see around you is nothing more than wilderness and marsh. But by the muscle and backbone and genius of the people of New York, we built the city into the towering forest of iron, aluminum, concrete, and steel. We made this city and state into the capital of global commerce. We turned our hometown into the bustling center of a confident, glamorous American culture, and we inspired the entire world. We inspired the world. No matter where you went on this planet, everyone knew that when you said, "I'm a New Yorker," it meant you had smarts, you had grit, you had energy, and above all else, you had heart. You had heart. Big, big, beautiful heart. Everybody wanted to be here. New York was where you came to make it big. You want to make it big, you had to be in New York. But sadly, this is now a city in decline. Throughout my life, I've seen New York through good times and bad, through boom times and crime waves, through market crashes and terrorist attacks. But I've never seen it quite like this. We have filthy encampments of drugged out homeless people living in our places that we've spent so much time with children where they used to play. We have lunatics killing innocent bystanders. Our it's a sad thing. Don't worry. It gets positive. Don't worry. It gets so positive. Remember, we're going to win. We're all winners. We're going to win so big, we're going to make it bigger and better than ever before. Remember that. So don't worry. By the time the other 6,000 or 7,000 people get in, it'll be very positive. Our subways are squalid and unsafe. The ceiling tiles are falling down, and they look worse than a third world country. The medians of our highways are crumbling. Our sidewalks are littered with garbage, bottles, and trash. But worst of all, the discarded needles from people that so desperately are in need of help. And we have mobs of migrants fighting our police officers and giving America the middle finger. But we are not going to let this continue. We are not going to abandon our hope and our pride. This city has given us so much, and now it is time that we are going to give it back. Together, we are going to make New York City great again, and simultaneously, we are going to make America great again.
USA. What's wrong with saying that? Nothing.
Thank you. I have come tonight to talk about solving problems. The simple fact is Joe Biden is not getting the job done for the Bronx. He's not getting the job done for New York, and he's not getting the job done for America. He is incompetent, ladies and gentlemen. He is grossly incompetent. I will get the job done as I did for 4 years, and I will get it done fast. And remember this, if a New Yorker can't save this country, no one can. No one can. Get me the snake, please. The snake. Thank you, everybody. What a crowd. This is something. You know, we wanted to keep it small because who knew? This is like a love fest. Love fest. It's a love fest. We love you. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Wow.
Move that picture, dude.
Who said we're not going to win New York? We're going to win New York so much. You know, if we win New York, we win the whole thing. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? We take back our country. And
I don't sell
we'll do a
anything,
job like nobody's ever done
maybe
before.
I will.
And what we did for 4 years was incredible, but we also learned a lot. We're going to get in there very fast with the right people, great people, people that are tested and true. Years ago, there was an ice skating rink.
Thank you, Sharon.
The Wallman Rink in the middle of Central Park. You know that story?
Mm-hmm.
That had been under construction for more than 10 years. They couldn't get it open. It was a renovation. They couldn't get it done. Mayor Koch was at his wits' ends. They just couldn't get it finished. They couldn't get it built. They couldn't get it open. People wanted to skate before their children turned old. Almost $20 million was spent over a long period of time. It was an embarrassment to the city. Every day they'd be laying the copper pipe, and every night that same pipe would be stolen. And then they'd start all over again the next day, and it would be stolen. This went on weeks and weeks and months and months. They poured the concrete in small patches in wrong directions and at different heights. And they took their advice from a refrigerator company from Miami, where it's 95 degrees out. It was a total mess. They just didn't know what they were doing. And I saw this, and I wanted my children to be able to ice skate before. They didn't care about ice skating. I looked down on the rink, and I said, what is going on? Years and years. So I volunteered, and I took over the project and did a good job. And when I took it over, I said that if it cost more than $2 million, I would pay for it, the entire amount. But it cost far less. The first thing I did was call the Montreal Canadiens hockey team in Canada, right? Isn't that better than a refrigerator company from Miami? They didn't know what we were talking about. But the Montreal Canadiens knew, and they were really nice. I'll never forget how nice they were. And they told me that you don't want to use copper tubing and gas because the gas is very delicate and it leaks. It's very fragile. It just doesn't work. You want to use rubber hose. I said, I like that. That's a lot cheaper. Water and salt. The salt makes it so the water doesn't freeze. It's called brine. And you're going to put that under the concrete. You're going to pour the concrete over the top. It's going to be great. It's going to work. Not going to leak. It's cheaper, faster. And it works all the time. And when we opened, there were no leaks. There were no problems whatsoever. Anyway, I started the project, laid the rubber hose, mixed the water and the salt beautifully together. I was down there when they were doing it. I said, you got to do it right. And covered the entire rink with concrete in 4, literally, you had to see this scene, concrete trucks operated by the Teamsters. Do we have any Teamsters here? Oh. Oh, you got to make sure that O'Brien, he's a good man. He endorses Trump. I think he's going to, actually. But the Teamsters, it stretched all the way. You had trucks stretching all the way from the Woolman Rink, which was, let's say, at 60th Street, all the way back to Harlem. One contiguous pour. It was a day and a half of pouring concrete. One contiguous, a giant surface. As you know, the rink was completed in just 3 months for far less than the $2 million projected. The biggest expense was actually the demolition. That is the demolishing of everything that was built so incorrectly, so badly over a 10-year period. The biggest cost was demolition, taking it all down and starting all over. We opened with a ceremony with all Olympic gold medal winners, including the great Peggy Fleming, Dorothy Hamill, Scott Hamilton, and all of the others. Every one of them was there. It was a beautiful night, beautiful weather. I'll never forget the evening. It was one of the most beautiful. My parents were there. Now they're looking down on us. They say, wow, that's my son. Can you imagine? That's my son. Can you imagine? He's being tried in a court with a crooked judge. Can you believe this? Can you believe it? And highly conflicted judge at that. But everybody was there, and it was really something to behold. It was an incredible experience, and one of the great experiences of my life in New York. We opened it. It's been successful, and successful ever since. What a great, great experience. It was beautiful. And, you know, a lot of it's common sense. You'd like to say the Republican Party is the party of common sense. You don't go to Miami when you want to make ice. You go to Canada when you want to make ice, right? Or you could go right down the road in the Bronx to Ferry Point, right? Everybody know about Ferry Point. It was another disaster, a development where the city had spent over 29 years, almost $300 million trying to develop it into a luxury golf resort, anything. They'll take anything. They were spending money. You know, trucks were going here, dumping, getting filled up, moving it here, dumping, getting filled up with the same stuff. This went on for years, back and forth, the same stuff. They were feather bedding. They were doing lots of bad things. But really, they didn't know how to get it done. They had no idea how much money they were spending. And when asked how much they spent, they said, we just don't know. That's been going on for years, decades. They were unable to do it. And at the time, the mayor, Michael Bloomberg, said, no, it's all right. It's okay. Now, Michael Bloomberg was the mayor, and he called me. He said, I have to get this done before I finish my term. It was very important to him. He was embarrassed by it. Everybody was embarrassed. It was Mayor Koch. It went through a lot of different mayors. Almost 30 years, remember that. And he said, in all fairness, he said, I want to get this done, and you're the one that can do it. You're the only one that can do it. And I said, and I will do it. I will get it done. And we got it done before he finished his term, which was great. But there were no other bidders to my knowledge. And I took over the project, spending only my money to build it. And I called all of the contractors together. These were tough people. These were tough, hard people. Many of you are probably contractors on that site. Come to that. And I said, look, fellas, you guys have made a fortune on this thing for years and years against the city. It's time we get together and build it. Let's get it built. Let's do it right. And let's get the hell out of here. We owe it to the city. And they worked so hard, the roughest, toughest contractors in New York. They had spirit like you've never seen before. And it was magnificently designed by the great Jack Nicklaus, who told me, I don't want to make any more money. They paid me enough. Everybody get paid a fortune. Jack said, I don't want money. I just want to see it get built for the people of New York. And that's what we did. But everybody, just like Jack, they said very similar things. These guys were rough and tough, and they made a lot of money, but you'd think they'd want to make more, but they didn't. They just wanted to get it built. And in just a little more than a year, so this was going on for 30 years, including, think of it, just a magnificent thing to watch. You had to watch these people working, just the opposite of what took place for the first 29 years. But we had a magnificent world-class golf course that many of you have played now. And it's rated as one of the best public courses in the country. And then a short while later, we built a beautiful clubhouse, one of the prettiest I've seen, built it, completed. The project was absolutely beautiful. It opened to great fanfare and great success. And do you want to hear the end result, though? Should I? Should I go off teleprompter and tell you the end result? You think Biden goes off teleprompter? I don't think so. He's no good on teleprompter. No, but okay, so I did this beautiful job. And then we had a dispute over January 6th. We had a dispute. And they said, January 6th, we want to terminate his agreement with the city. I had a long-term agreement with the city. And they sent me a notice of termination. I said, wait a minute. I just spent $25 million building it, built this magnificent clubhouse. It's in full operation. It took you 29 years. You were spending hundreds of millions of dollars. You couldn't get it done. And the neighborhood came to court totally for me. The Bronx neighborhood. It's in the Bronx. It's on the East River in the Bronx. And we went to court. The city sued to break my agreement that they had just made. And I had done such a great job for them. And it was accolades everywhere. Golf Magazine, all of the big magazines were saying, what a great job. They terminated my agreement. And I went to court. And I will tell you, I had a very good experience. We had a Supreme Court justice named Deborah James. And I have to give her credit. I didn't know her, never met her. Deborah James, a African-American woman who came to my defense. We explained it, and the city explained it. They said, we want to terminate it. They had no reason. And we said what we just said. And she looked at them, and she said, in effect, how dare you? This man came in. He put up his own money. He did an incredible job. You were building it for 29 years. How dare you ask for this to be terminated? How unfair is that? Deborah James, a great Supreme Court justice. That's all I can tell you. And we won the case.
Thank you.
But it's not easy doing business in New York, I'll tell you. Not easy. So I just appreciated that. I had to tell that story. And as you know, then I renovated Grand Central Terminal. I built the Grand Hyatt Hotel on 42nd Street and Park Avenue. And as part of that, I renovated the beautiful Grand Central Terminal, did a really good job of that. And then I was very much responsible for the construction of the Jacob Javits Convention Center, where Hillary Clinton was going to have her big evening. That was not good. Remember? We had the glass ceiling. You know, we built glass ceiling. She said, we're going to break the glass ceiling. It didn't work out. You know, I'll tell you a little secret that I don't think I've ever... I hated the concept. I said we have to get on with our country. We have to win against Russia. We have to win against China, North Korea, all the different countries we're at loggerheads with. But as long as you have a smart president, you're going to win those battles. We're winning all those battles, even with the fake Russia scam, which made it harder. But you hated that. And then you see what they want to do to us, to me, to us. And they come along and they don't mind because Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of our country, has no sense, doesn't know what he's doing, grossly incompetent, and our country is going to hell, but we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. Because above all else, and I say this and I believe this on New Yorkers, you are different. You do know that. You know that when I called for this rally, we said, let's just have a meeting. Don't call it a rally. And so many people showed up. I said, like it or not, this is a rally. This is as far as the eye can see. You have to see the lines outside. They're going for miles. But when we saw it and we saw the love, because I called up this morning, do the people like me or do they hate me? They said, they don't like you, sir. They love you. I said, good, thank you. So I appreciate it. And I love you, too. But above all else, boy, look at all the cameras back there. That's amazing.
Yeah, fake news.
That's the fake news. Yeah. You know, they'll say tonight, Donald Trump spoke to a very small crowd of people in the Bronx. It was a very hostile crowd, very hostile. They hated him very much. No, sometimes they're okay. You know, I agreed to do a debate with crooked Joe Biden on CNN.
You think that's happening?
With fake Tapper. And I think they'll be fair. Does anybody think they'll be fair? I might.
No, they will not be fair.
That's all right. When they said, here's your story, you can have a debate on CNN with fake Tapper as the primary host. And I said, I'll do it. Because you know what they thought is you'd say CNN and they'd say various people on the show, various anchors, and, you know, headed up by fake Tapper. And they thought I was going to reject it. I don't want to do it. Then Biden would say, I offered to debate, but he wouldn't do it. So they said, we want to have a debate. I'll take it. Well, we haven't even told you what the debate is all about. Then they said, today, they said, we'd like to set up tables so you sit down. I said, I don't want to sit down for a debate. Let's go. At some point, so we're not sitting down. We're going to be standing up for the debate.
Good.
And here's what you know. If crooked Joe Biden makes it through the debate, which I think he will, they're going to say it was one of the great debate performances in history. One of the greatest debate performances. But there they are. And we're on every network tonight. I don't know what's going on. We're on Fox. We're on all of them. So have a lot of fun, but we're on all of them. So they understood. They understood before anyone how big this would be. And you got to see what's back there coming in. Thank you. Thank you.
So either.
But above all, New Yorkers have something called common sense, and we do have common sense. An old-fashioned American common sense is exactly what I intend to bring back to the White House, just like we had for 4 years. You know, we had 4 of the greatest years in the history of our country. We rebuilt the military, we cut taxes, the biggest tax cut in history, the biggest regulation cut in history. We defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS, and we did it in about 1/100th the time. They said it would take 4 to 5 years. It took me like 2 months, right? Because we have an incredible military, and we're not allowed to show. They had Afghanistan, the worst pullout, the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. It's probably the reason, a piece of it, why Russia went into Ukraine. They said, these people are incompetent, we'll go in. So Russia going into Ukraine would have never happened. None of this stuff that you see would have happened. Israel would have never happened, the attack on October 7th. And you wouldn't have had inflation. As soon as I get back into the Oval Office, I am going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call your mayor and your governor, and I'm going to say, this is President Trump, and I want to come back and help. Look, you have a Democrat governor, you have a Democrat mayor, and we are going to work with them, and we're going to get this state and this city at a level that it's never seen before, frankly. I think we can do that, too. We're going to be helping them a lot, much more than anybody would expect. It doesn't matter whether they're Democrats or Republicans, because this is about our city and our country, and it's really about the people. And in this case, the people of New York City, New York State.
Oh, I see.
We're going to make you very, very happy. And Biden can't do it. He doesn't know he's alive. You know, see all the stairs here? Stair, 2 of them behind me, 1 in the middle. When he's finished with his 2.5 minute, do you ever watch a speech? They last for about 1.5 minutes. When he's finished with his speech, he can never find the stairs. He can never find the stairs. And when he does, it's not a pretty picture either. Thank goodness for Secret Service. They come up and they guide them all. No, this is not what we need.
I got rid of that
When you see
spammer.
President Xi of China, when you see Kim Jong-un of North Korea, when you see Putin, and you see all of these people, they're at the top of their game, whether you like it or not, and they can't believe that this has happened to the United States. We have lost respect all over the world. We were the most respected country in the world 4 years ago. We were respected more than our country was ever respected 4 years ago, and now we're being laughed at. We're like a joke, and that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We're going to do whatever it takes to fix our roads, bridges, and highways. We're going to take back our parks, not just for children, but for everybody. We're going to renovate New York's subway system so it no longer looks like it hasn't been cleaned since 1932, but rather it will be the most beautiful transit system anywhere in the world.
Good.
I don't know if you know it. It's by far the biggest infrastructure, subway infrastructure in the world, and we're going to make it by far the biggest, and now we're going to make it by far the best. We're going to make it beautiful again. And a lot of it is topical. The expensive work people don't understand because they're not in construction. It's topical work. It's topical. It's built. The expensive, the hard, the labor, the money, the big stuff is done. We're going to make it beautiful. We're going to make it good. And most importantly, we're going to let New York's finest do its job. The transit cops do their job. We're going to make it safe.
You need to tell the New Yorkers. Tell the New Yorkers.
And importantly, for the people that are before me today, we are going to make life in New York affordable again. It's gotten totally out of control. The minute crooked Joe Biden shuffles out the door, I will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy, the history of the world. Look, we had the greatest economy in history. Everybody here, where you have a small business or if you had a job, you were getting more than you ever made. And we had no inflation. We had no 1.4%, considered none, considered better than none, because frankly, none in its own way is a bad thing also. We had a perfect number, 1.4%. It doesn't matter whether you're black or brown or white or whatever the hell color you are. It doesn't matter. We are all Americans, and we're going to pull together as Americans.
Yes. Good.
We all want better opportunity. I'm not just going to promise it. I'm going to deliver it, as I did just a short while ago. Think of it. You know, when I went down to Washington, I was only there 17 times. I never stayed over. I didn't know that society. And we had great people. Look at what we did with economic development, with the rebuilding of our military, with the tax cuts, with the... We had great people. But we also had some people that I wouldn't have used if I had my choice. Now I know everybody. I know the smart ones. I know the dumb ones. I know the killers. I know the weak ones. I know them all. And you're going to see. But everyone was better off. We had the greatest economy in history. Everybody was better off under a man named President Donald J. Trump. Have you ever heard of him? Have you heard of him? We had gasoline down to $1.87 a gallon, and actually times when it was much lower than that. We had a record low poverty rate for black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We had the lowest, we had the best poverty rate in terms of the positive number ever in our history for black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We lifted 6.6 million people out of poverty. Nothing like that has ever happened in our country. And the real middle class income rose over $6,000 a year. Think of that. Under Biden, it's a disaster. Real middle class income has fallen over $2,000 a year. That's a lot. That's a difference of $8,000. Real earnings for African Americans are down 5.6%. African Americans are getting slaughtered. Hispanic Americans are getting slaughtered. And these millions and millions of people that are coming into our country, the biggest impact and the biggest negative impact is against our black population and our Hispanic population, who are losing their jobs, losing their housing, losing everything they can lose. They're the ones that are affected most by what's happening. Not only the fact that you've lost the use of your schools, your parks, and your hospitals. Joe Biden's inflation.
Build a wall.
Do they have that? Do they have it? Speaking of the wall, so we built much more wall than we built 571 miles of wall. We had the safest border in history. We were going to put up within a period of 3 weeks. It was all built, laying there, ready to be put up, designed by the Border Patrol, who are incredible people, ICE, who are incredible people, all together. I wanted to put up concrete plank for the contractors here. They didn't want it. They had to have hardened steel. They wanted 6,000, 7,000 pound concrete. They wanted rebar in the middle. They wanted different materials, harder to cut. So we had very hard steel, very good stuff. Everything was good. We had the panel on top. It was called an anti-climb panel. We had the best wall. And it was going to bid. We were going to add 200 miles of wall. It would have taken about 3 weeks. And then we had the rigged election. And you know what happened after the rigged election? They took the wall, and instead of putting it up, they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. And I said, these people really do want to have an open border. And that's what's happened to our country. Our country has gone to hell because of it. It's gone to hell. But I want to thank Mexico. I want to thank, because I went to Mexico.
I want to see the crowd too.
We really have no choice. He said, send him back. There's a chance, send him back. Nobody wants to send anybody back, but you have no choice. This is not sustainable by any country, right? This is not sustainable. But we had Mexico, and we went to Mexico, and I said to the president of Mexico, good man, by the way, a very good guy, happens to be a socialist, but these are minor details. I said to him, Mr. President, we need you to give us 28,000 soldiers to guard the wall. He said, well, how much would you pay for that? I said, nothing. I'm not paying anything. You're sending them in. They're coming in caravans. You have to do it. And he smiled and he laughed. He thought it was funny. He thought it was like, I was kidding. I said, no. They're coming in through Mexico. We need 28,000 soldiers, free of charge. And he said, Donald, I cannot do that. I said, here's what you do. I don't want to embarrass you, so I'm not going to negotiate with you. Send me a negotiator. Give me a top negotiator. I want to see him. And he came to the White House, a very handsome man, dressed in one of the most beautiful suits I've ever seen. In fact, I was going to ask him, who is your tailor? I'd like to buy one of those suits, but I didn't think it was appropriate to start the negotiation that way. And I said, you know that you're going to give us 28,000 soldiers, don't you? No, 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 we are not going to. We will never do that. I said, of course you're going to. 100%. He said, we're not going to. He said, no way. I said, way. You're going to give it. He said, 100%. And you're also going to have a new policy. It's called Remain in Mexico. Nobody can come into our country until they're free. And then you're going to have catch and release into Mexico. You know, we have catch and release into our country. Even if they're criminals, we catch them, we check them, we see they're a criminal, we release them, we say, come back 5 years later, you'll have a court case. Nobody ever comes back. So I said to the State Department, and a wonderful woman, but a bad negotiator, I said to the State Department, give me a top 10, give me a top 10 list. Give me a top 10 things. I said to ICE and Border Patrol, give me a top 10. They gave me a top 10 list. And a lot of it had to do with all of the horrible disease that pours through. People that have highly contagious diseases are coming into our country at levels that we've never seen before. So many other things. And they gave me a top 10 list, but they laughed. They said, sir, they'll never do. We've been trying to get this stuff for 25 years. I said, if I were a betting man, I would bet you any amount of money. You'll have it very quickly. So this man comes in. I said, we want a policy, remain in Mexico, Tijuana. Hundreds of probably the fastest growing city in the world for a period of a year. That place was loaded up with people. They weren't allowed into our country. And we had already built a lot of the wall, a tremendous amount, 571 miles. Without that, we couldn't have ever done this. And he said that we're not going to do it, sir. I said, you are going to do it. He said, we're not. I said, here's the story. I'm not going to mess around with you. I have to go. I have a very important meeting, much more important than this. I said, here's the story. You're either going to do it. It's Friday evening. Or on Monday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, we are going to put a 25% tariff on everything that Mexico sends into our country. And
do
then
it again.
1 month later, if you don't do it, we're going to put a 50%. Then we're going to go 75. And because I'm a nice person, we're going to stop at a 100% tariff. And here's the, and I had it literally written. I'm saying, should I sign it or not? Am I going to waste the ink or not? Because I'll sign it right now. On Monday morning at 7 o'clock, you're going to pay up to a $100 tariff. He said, sir, I'd like to make a phone call. I said, I wonder who you're going to call. Let me guess. You're going to call the president. He comes back 3 minutes later. Sir, it would be our great honor to give you 28,000 soldiers free of charge. It would be our great honor to have a policy of remain in Mexico. Anyway, and we got all 10 things. It took about like 10 minutes. It was not... And now the other day, did you see? Mexico said to crooked Joe Biden, we want $20 billion a year just for the privilege of negotiating with you. We want you to pay us. Did you see that? It was a little article. You hardly... There's a slight difference, would you say? He would have never asked that. He would have never asked it. So he said they want $20 billion. 20 billion, not 20 million's a lot. They want 20 with a B, $20 billion a year, just for the privilege of negotiating with Mexico. And you would never get the things that they gave up, remain in Mexico. They gave up catch and release in Mexico. They gave up they gave up everything. They gave up everything. They did. They did give up the Constitution. Joe Biden, his inflation has cost the average New York household a staggering $24,000. Think of that. Because the costs have gone up so much. Bacon has gone... I don't eat bacon anymore. It's too expensive. It's gone up like 4 times. I said, what's with bacon? But if you look at the Biden price hikes, very much caused the runaway inflation, the likes of which I don't think we've ever seen before, anything like it. And they're costing average New York families $1,000 a month just in the inflationary costs. I call it the Biden inflation tax because it's a tax. On day one, we're going to throw out Bidenomics and going to replace it with Maganomics, like your hats. Maganomics. And I will give you lower taxes. We're going to cut it still lower. Remember, when I cut taxes, I gave you the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, bigger than the Reagan tax cuts. And you know what? The following year, we reported massive increases in revenue. So with lower taxes, we actually took in more money because it gave incentive for people to work. Lots of reasons. But I will give you low taxes, low inflation, low interest rates, rising wages, growing incomes, and fair trade for the American worker. And we will make energy affordable again by saying, drill, baby,
There we
drill.
go. There we go.
Drill, baby, drill. Your energy costs will come down within the first year by 50%. That's not bad. That's a hell of a promise. And it will, too. We can drop that so quickly. Remember, it was his stupid energy policies that caused the inflation. Now, it's more than energy. Now everything's like on fire. The whole place is a mess. We will quickly return our nation to the path of prosperity, and we will bring our country back together through unparalleled success. Our country is going to be very successful, and people are going to come together. And I will tell you, a lot of people say, do you think you can ever get the sides together? And by the way, I have to say something. Our side is much bigger than their side. You see that? Much bigger. We're more quiet, much more quiet. But when we get going, we're much tougher, right? We're much tougher. But it is much bigger. But I saw it. We had the greatest economy in history, and I was getting calls from the other side. I call it the radical left. But left-leaning, to put it mildly, Democrats, can we get together? Because everybody had the best they've ever had. African-American jobs were the best in history. Asian American, the best in history. Hispanic, the best in history. Women, people with a diploma, people without a diploma, people that went to the great Wharton School of Finance, MIT, Harvard, they were doing better. And the people that didn't have a high school diploma were having the best. Everybody was better. There wasn't one group, not one, that went down. And it was bringing our country together. So it can happen. And when they ask, because I get that question a lot, do you think the sides can ever get together? And I went through the experience, and we can get together. And then we had COVID come in, and we had to fight that battle. And we did a great, I've been recognized as having created a great economy and great military, defeating ISIS and all the things. We rebuilt the entire military, created Space Force, all those things. We never got the credit, and we had no wars. Thank you, sir. That's very nice. Remember Hillary Clinton used to point at me, he will create wars. No. They said his personality will create wars. I said, no, my personality is going to keep us out of wars. And I was right. First president in 78 years that didn't start a war. We had no wars. None of these stupid wars. Such a shame. When you see all the people that died in these horrible wars in the Middle East and everything else, countries didn't want us, dropping bombs all over the place. Spent $9 trillion in the Middle East. We bombed the hell out of the place, then we leave. In the old days, to the victor belong the spoils. We don't do that. We bomb the hell out of everyone, then we come back home. It's so sick. It's so sick and so stupid. These people that led us are so stupid. You want to use that as a last resort. You can solve these problems with a meeting or with a telephone call. You don't have to drop billions of dollars worth of bombs on people's heads. You don't have to. It's called peace through strength. It really is. And there's no reason for it. What they did in the Middle East is so incredible. They bombed the hell out of the place, and then they left. But to the victor belong the spoils. We didn't do that. Now, in Iraq, years ago, I was a civilian, but I got a lot of publicity for whatever the hell reason. And I said, don't go into Iraq, don't go into Iraq, don't go into Iraq. But if you're going to go in, keep the oil. Well, they went in, and they didn't keep the oil. And Iraq now has $350 billion in cash from the oil. And Iran, by us destroying Iraq, the military of Iraq, for years they fought each other, and they were equal sizes, equal everything. They were equal military partners. And for 1,000 years under different names, they would fight, a religious thing. They'd fight, they'd go 5 feet left, 5 feet right, 5 feet left, 5 feet right. Somebody would say they have gas, somebody would say they have nuclear. Then they'd rest for a few years, and they'd fight again. But we blew the hell out of one side, Iraq. So now Iraq is a subsidiary, essentially, of Iran. Congratulations for the geniuses that got us into that mess. Because Iran essentially controls, and that was the other thing. When I was president, Iran was broke. They had no money. I said to China, if you buy, they bought a lot of oil. I said, if you buy anything, but if you buy oil from Iran, we are going to do something to you. What's that? You're not going to do any business in the United States. He said, well, that's the end of buying oil from Iran. Every country was told that. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for anything. Then Biden comes in and he takes all of the sanctions off. And they go out, and now Iran has $223 billion. Congratulations. And we're the only ones for 5 hostages. We just paid $6 billion. And for electricity for Iraq, we just paid $10 billion. And think of it, Iraq has billions of dollars that we're paying for their electricity. So we were in a position, there was no terror, there was no threat, there was no nothing. And now Iran has become a big threat again. And I tell you, I see a lot of flags from right out of Israel, right? That's right out of Israel. But remember, I said it a month ago, and it's a terrible thing to say, but I believe it. Many of the hostages that you're waiting for, and everybody's waiting for, those hostages, many of them are dead. Many of them are dead. And it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing, but many of those hostages are dead. And that's why when you see these negotiations where Hamas is like not getting back, they're saying, man, we could make a good deal, but these people are no longer alive. When I saw the way they were treated, when I saw the way they were thrown into the cars and how horribly they were treated, there's no way that those hostages, and some will be alive, but many of those hostages are dead. It's a very serious, horrible thing. It would have never happened if the election weren't rigged. It would have never happened if I were your president. They would have never done it. Because we have so many young people here today, I want to talk about, just for a moment, about success. Do you remember I used to give talks on success before politics? Okay, that's enough. We're going to do it. I know you're on our side, but it's enough. We're going to get them home. It's a rough situation. But remember, we used to give talks on success for the learning addicts and for others. And I used to do that before politics, and maybe it's one of the reasons I went in. But because, well, bringing our city back, it starts with getting the right leadership. It also involves men and women just like you. But I talk a lot about success, and I get paid money to talk about success. I would have done it for nothing. But then because of politics, and if you take a look, because of politics, I stopped doing that. But I think we're in the Bronx. We have young people, people that aspire to success. And I just wanted to know, I'm so tired of politics. Can we devote 6 minutes to success?
Good talk here.
So, for all of you young people, I think it's, look, I've been through tremendous, I've had great success. I've had it in entertainment, I've had it in business, I've had it in politics. I ran for office. What office did you run for? President? How'd you do? I won. Actually, I won twice. We did much better the second time, so. We got millions more votes the second time. But it doesn't compare to this time. There is so much more. We had tremendous enthusiasm when I don't call her Crooked Hillary anymore. I call her Beautiful Hillary because I took crooked and used it for Joe. I don't like using it for two people. But we had tremendous enthusiasm in 2016. We had unbelievable more enthusiasm in 2020 because we did such a good job. In fact, one of the big problems in 2016 was the wall. It was the border. I fixed it so good that I couldn't talk about it in 2020. I kept saying to my people, I want to talk about the wall. I want to talk about the great job I did on immigration. I stopped people from coming in. They said, sir, nobody cares. You already fixed it. I said, this is a terrible thing. You fix it and you can't talk about it. But let's talk about, for the young people, just to listen for a couple of minutes, because we've been talking about politics so long, I'm OD'd. You know what that means? I'm OD'd on politics. I'm OD'd on Trump. I turn on the television, Trump, 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 all different stories, Trump. They're driving us crazy. So I believe in the expression. Did you ever hear this expression? The harder you work, the luckier you get. You know who said that? a great golfer named Gary Player. He was smaller than other golfers, but he worked harder than other golfers, and he ended up with the most career wins of any golfer. He ended up with 9 majors, and he was small in stature, but big right up here. But he made that say, it was the first time I ever heard about it. He said, it's a funny thing happens. The harder I work, the luckier I get. That was an athlete saying that. Amazing, right? It's the first time I heard it. Probably been said by others, but it's true. I can tell you, if you didn't work really hard, there is very little chance that I would be standing here right now. Another part of success is something I learned from my father. I had a wonderful father, wonderful parents. I'm lucky. You got to be lucky. Got to get great parents. If you're going to spend your life working really hard, you have to love it. You have to pick something that you really enjoy. Sometimes your parents will say, don't do that. But you got to a little bit, in that case, you got to follow your own way. You got to love it. Ideally, you're going to love something where there's a potential, because there are some things you love, but it's not going to do you so good. So ideally, fall in love with something that's good. Some people go into a business where it's a very hard business. If you can go into a business that's an easier business and do well. But I see it all the time. Somebody has every ingredient for success, smart, brilliant, everything's good. But they're in a business where you hit your head on the wall. It's a very tough business. Try finding something where it's a great business with a great future, and there are plenty of them out there. My father taught me about construction, but what I really learned from him was that he worked 7 days a week because he really loved to do it. I mean, he would work on Sunday, he'd go to church in the morning, and then he'd go and work.
Trying to find her.
And I know some people that don't believe in working on Sunday. You couldn't keep him away from work. But he loved working, and he was happy. He was married for a long time. That's one thing I'm not going to top him on. He was married. He was married for a long time, decades and decades. I said, Pop, I'm not going to beat you on that one. Never going to beat you. But because his work made him happy, but he was happy when he worked, and he was successful, and he knew what he was doing. He'd build a house on one side of the street. Somebody else would build a house on the other side of the street. And he'd build his house faster, better, cheaper, and he'd sell it for less money. The other guy would build the house for more money, take him longer, couldn't sell it. My father would go buy the house for less money than it cost him to build the first one, and he'd sell it. And you know, in the old days, a long time ago, his brother was a professor at MIT. My father worked, he was a little younger than my father. My father put him to school. He went to MIT, a very brilliant guy, Professor John Trump, the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, 41 years, I believe. Dr. John Trump. My father used to tell me I used to go crazy. Your uncle was always getting degrees. I had to keep building for your uncle to get him through college. He was always up there getting degrees. But he was at MIT for 41 years, a brilliant guy. He used to talk to me about nuclear because he was a nuclear genius, along with a genius at about everything else. And he used to say that someday there'll be a time when a small package carried by hand can blow up an entire city. And I said, no way, Uncle John, that's never going to happen, Uncle John. Guess what? He was right a long time ago that he said it. But my father would price a house. And I'd say, how did you price in those days, Dad? He said, pricing was everything. He said, I'd sell a house for $3,999.99. And that 1 penny made the difference between selling it and not. 1 penny. If I made it $4,000, I wouldn't sell. But psychologically, $3,999.99. And he sold houses. And guys wouldn't sell them. But he used to tell me that 1 penny, sounds crazy, but it wasn't crazy. Psychologically, people thought they were buying it for $3,000, not $4,000. It's sort of like getting an 89 on a test in school, or a 90. A 90's an A, and an 89, 1 point, is a B+. Another lesson: when times are tough, sometimes that's when you perform the best. You have to learn that about yourself. You have to learn it about yourself. Are you okay? Are you guys okay? Oh, okay, take your time, yeah? Take your time. Doctor, any doctor, please? Doctor in the house. Thank you. Are you okay? You take your time, darling. Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like somebody got sick in the audience. So they're probably going to tender. Listen, that guy that was
Take your time.
trolling, I went ahead and blocked him, so I was able to get. Thank you guys for pointing that out. But that BJH K66 person is gonzo, so thank you very much. I don't know, Cindy. The chat's it's definitely moving. Maybe it's slower because there's so many of them, but it's moving. Definitely moving. And thank you,
Take your
everybody,
time, Doc. We have time.
for showing up tonight. Yeah, I believe AOC.
Some
is
people
probably,
waited here for 2 days. It's tough. It's tough. Thank you. Plenty of time.
What's up, man?
That's good. Water. She all right? She okay?
Is it that Brandon guy? Yeah, let me look at him too. Brandon just knocked it off. I might have to block you, so please stop that.
She doing all right? She doing okay? Thank you. Plenty of time.
I hope she's okay.
Okay? You okay? Thank you. Doctor, thank you very much, doctors. Got a lot of doctors in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you, darling. That's great. That's great. Great job. People do a fantastic job here. But it's hot, and it's been a long wait, right? Long wait.
Come on, show some love and
Thank you
click
very
that
much,
like
Doctor.
button.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I know she's going to be okay because she's so tough. Some of the greatest days of my business career were in the toughest times, but I enjoyed waking up every single morning and go to battle. A lot of people say to me today, the toughest business people that you know about, could I ask you a question?
Richard.
How do you do it? I say, do what? How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on? Why do you put the pants on? I'll explain it to you someday. How do you do it? How do you get up? How do you do it? How can you want to do with what you do? They're after you. They're after you. These horrible human beings are after you all the time. Impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, lawsuits all up. And they're doing it to injure the political opponent of an incompetent candidate because he can't run fairly and squarely. And I say, you know what I do? I just do it. I put on the blinders. I say, I just do it. We do it. And the other question they ask me is, will it happen again? And we have to make it too big to rig. We got a lot of great people watching. We have to make it too big to rig.
Hey, beauty. Thank you. Wow.
But one of the things you need in success is momentum. You need momentum. You got to have, and when you have that momentum going, there's nothing that can stop you. And I tell the story of Bill Levitt. Bill Levitt was a great real estate man, great. Levitt towns all over the country. One of the most successful real estate people at a certain age ever. And he built these massive towns that were, you know, there was nothing like them at the time. And very successful. And he was offered a lot of money to sell to a big public company. And he decided to take it. He was a young man. He was in his 40s. And he said, darling, I'm going to take it. Told his wife, I want to take the money. And for 20 years, he went out. He bought a yacht. He lived a beautiful life. He lived in the south of France. But he got bored. And 21, 22 years later, he said, I want to make a comeback. I can't stand this life anymore. I want to make a comeback. And he went to the company that he sold to, a big public company that did very poorly. They had no idea what they were doing. You know, he used to, by the way, he used to pick up every nail, every piece of wood, He used to sell the sawdust, everything. He would say every penny was a major event. And now you had this big public company. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. So he went back and he made him an offer. They didn't want to sell, and he paid a little more. And he ended up buying it for an okay price. And he was so happy. He said, now I can go back to work. And he went back, and everything he touched turned bad. The market turned on him. The jobs turned on him. He was no longer able to get zoning. He was spending a fortune. He had just purchased it for a lot of money. And he ended up going bankrupt. He was bankrupt. And I was young when I met him. And I was at the party of a very big person, big public company person. And Bill Levitt was there. And I was in the real estate business, so I knew who he was. And you probably indirectly know who. And everybody was shunning him a little bit. Nobody cared about him anymore. But I did. And I went over to him and I say, hi, Mr. Levitt, I'm Donald Trump. I know it. I was doing great. I was sort of like a hot guy. I was hot as a pistol. I think I was hotter than I am now, and I became president, okay? I don't know. I said to somebody, was I hotter before or hotter now? I don't know. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Who the hell cares, right? But he knew who I was, and I went up, I said, so, are you okay? And he said, I'm not really okay. I made a mistake that I'll never forget. And he was, by this time, a pretty old guy. And he was sitting in the corner of this magnificent Fifth Avenue apartment where there were 25 very successful people. But I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to find out what happened because he lost everything. Everybody knew it. It's very public. And I said, what happened exactly? What happened? He said, son, I lost my momentum. I had something going that couldn't be stopped. And I should have just stayed. I lost my momentum. And I've never forgotten the term. If you lose your momentum, you got to figure it out. But Bill Levitt lost his momentum, and he died penniless.
Wow.
And he was the biggest real estate person on the planet.
Wow.
And I've never forgotten that story. It was a sad story. He was a good man, too. I thought he was a good man, but did an unbelievable job. Today, you have Levittowns all over the country, and pretty amazing. But you have to always keep moving forward. And when it's your time, you have to know it's your time. And I said to myself, in terms of politics, I said, you know what? We did so well in number one. We did even better in number two. I said, we got to do it again because we have to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it to make America great again. You know, if I didn't think we easily won, I would never do this. Because you know what? In many ways, it's easier. You have a winner, you have a loser. It's okay. I won once. It was a big upset, I guess. I don't know why it was an upset. Because I'd go and I'd have 50,000 people at a rally. She'd go and have 200 people. And then they say, why did I win Michigan? Why did I win Pennsylvania? Why did I win all these states that a Republican hadn't won in many years? Why? And by the way, we're up in Pennsylvania. We're up in Michigan. We're up in New Hampshire today. We're up in Florida at numbers that you wouldn't even believe. But I also think it's very important to know what you want. You have to set your sights high. Set your sights so high, higher than you ever thought possible, and make your goals big and go after it. That's why I say we won't just make New York a little better. I say we want to make New York a lot better, better than it ever was before. Right? And finally, you have to take pride in your accomplishments. Do not take for granted what you've achieved. Forget it. It's over. It's good for your confidence, but it's over. Go forward. Think to the future, not to the past, but learn from the past. You know, wherever I go, I know that if I could build a skyscraper in Manhattan, I could do anything. It's very tough. Building a 68-story building on Fifth Avenue is hard. With all you have to deal with, I mean, you have unions, you have legal entanglements, property rights, zoning. You're dealing with the smartest and toughest contractors in the world. These are killers. Many of you are here today. Thank you very much. But by comparison, talking to world leaders, I believe, is easier. And I've done them both. Talking to a world leader, if you're smart, you know, you have the United States behind you. Now, the country's not the same, but it'll be better and stronger and bigger in a very short period of time. You know, we have so many different things we could discuss having to do with the Republican Party. But the biggest thing, I think, and I really mean this, and it's happening more and more, and I see it all the time, because really you have to be the party of common sense as opposed. Poor thing, he said, I'll take you in and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Right? So when we allow people from prisons, when we allow people from insane asylums and mental institutions, which are being emptied out all over the world, you know, their prison populations are going way down. You know why? Because they're being dumped into the United States. When we are allowing terrorists at numbers that we've never seen before, remember the snake. Remember the snake. Because you're going to get bitten like you never got bitten before, and you need a new president, and you have to get rid of this person who is not a smart person, not a respected person, and doesn't have a clue what the hell is happening. So, that's the snake. Did you enjoy the snake? On day one, I will seal the border, and I will stop the invasion of our country. Very sadly, in recent years, we have also seen our city destroyed by bad, radical left, pro-crime policy that virtually everyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone, you all know it's a disaster. You know the names of these lunatic policies. No cash bail. Somebody kills somebody. Go out. No bail. Don't worry. Go out and kill a couple of more people. Defund our great police. Defund the police. Sanctuary cities. Release violent repeat offenders from jail. Joe Biden supports all of this insanity and much more, but millions of people across New York know it's crazy. There is no way when you watch this guy get off an airplane, he doesn't even have to talk. When he falls out of a helicopter, he's got 3 little stairs. It's not that hard. You got 2 railings. You don't fall out of helicopters. You don't fall upstairs. He falls up. He has more trouble going up than he does coming down. That's a little sick. But you're just not going to vote for him. You just not. We got to win. If we just win the state, it just puts it right. It's such a big state. It puts it to bed. You're going to have a president and people, but you're going to have a president that understands what we have to do. We have to be nice about it, but we have to do things. And we're going to be done. And the world is going to respect us again. We were never so respected as we were 4 years ago. President Xi of China, Putin, Viktor Orban, did you ever hear of him? Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough guy, known as a strong man. Oh, they hate it when I talk about him because they say he's a strong man. Trump loves strong men. I don't know. I like weak men, actually. I like weak men. I'd much rather have a weak man than a strong man. But he is a strong man. And they asked him, why is it that the whole world is blowing up? He said, one simple reason, Trump is not president in the United States. He said, you put Trump back as president and the whole world is going to get better because they were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out. Trump was a rather difficult person, but he used the word afraid. I don't use it. I don't use afraid. I use the word respect. They respected your president. They respected the United States of America. And they're going to do it again, and it's going to happen fast. But we have to get this absolute disaster. The worst president in history. He makes Jimmy Carter look like he had a brilliant administration. The only thing, the only happy person about Joe Biden is Jimmy Carter because Jimmy looks brilliant by comparison. I also want to thank New York's finest. I grew up with them. I know them. I love them. I love our firemen. I love our teachers. These are incredible people, and we have to bring the word respect and honor back to them right where it belongs. A few weeks ago, I visited with a grieving family, New York police officer Jonathan Diller. What a beautiful family. He was a beautiful person. He was 31 years old, gunned down during a traffic stop by a vicious thug, and just horrible, leaving his beautiful young wife behind, a son, Ryan, behind, 1-year-old son. And it was the saddest day. It was a horrible thing. Opened the door and just started shooting him. The criminal charge was savagely murdering Officer Dillon, was previously arrested by the NYPD 21 times. And he was allowed to go out because of the political things they do here. I'm the only one they want to keep. If I ever said, I want no bail, they'd say, you got to pay a fortune. If I ever say, oh, no cash bail, that sounds good. That sounds good. No, it doesn't apply to Trump. I'm the only one it doesn't apply to, probably. And the accomplice driving the car had been arrested 14 times and was actually a far more violent person. And his nickname was Killer. They called him Killer. These dangerous and violent repeat offenders should never have been on our streets. Jonathan should be alive today, but they were released again and again and again. I will not sit by and accept this reckless insanity when I am in the White House. I will stand up to the Marxist DAs and Soros prosecutors, and we will tell them no more. We're not going to stand for it. We will not let them destroy our communities. We will not let them destroy our country. There's a 53% increase in felony assaults on your subways. 53%. That's in a short period of time. Since 2019, murders are up more than 20%. Shootings are up more than 30%. I'm going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions on crime. And remember, Black, Hispanic, Asian people need this protection and safety more than anyone else. Don't ever forget it. And after years of talk by the radical left Democrats, we are going to give them the protection they need, and we're going to protect our police. We're going to make sure they do a great job. They can do it very quickly. They know who the bad guys are. They know everything about them. They know their name. They know their middle initial. We're going to insist that if a violent criminal murders a police officer, they receive the death penalty. It's going to be quick. And I also want to work with your mayor and your governor, happen to be Democrats, to clean up the homeless encampments so that you can once again enjoy your parks and your public spaces. Right now, you don't have public spaces. They're occupied by migrants in tents. Pleasures as simple as a walk in the park or watching your children again play in a Little League game will come roaring back, and they're going to come back very quickly. Your lifestyle and the American dream will be with you once again, and we're going to bring it back, the American dream. You don't have an American dream right now. You will be proud, and your children and your country will be even prouder of you. Years ago, people with severe mental illness were in mental institutions, and then a certain governor, I won't mention the name because at this point, what difference? They dumped all of them into the streets because they said those institutions were too expensive to run. So now they live on our streets, and that's what we have. This is no good for anybody. It's bad for the people who need help, and it's bad for the people of our city, and it's a horrible, horrible way to live. I want to work in partnership with your local leaders, Democrats, pretty much all, and move the severely mentally ill off your streets and back into a place where they can get help and the help that they desperately need. I want to recognize, by the way, a few very special people. You have some really great people here, and I'm sorry I can't mention all. We have congressmen all over the place, but I just can't mention you today. You're never going to speak to me, but would anybody like to hear these congressmen's names? But I do have to mention a few people. We're truly honored to be joined by a man who is a Democrat and a former member of the New York City Council, and he's been a friend of mine, and he helped me very much with the Ferry Point project and getting it working, and did a really good job. Ruben Diaz Sr. Come on up, Ruben. Good. Good. You look beautiful. Please.
Thank you. Mr. President, I am a Puerto Rican, a black Puerto Rican. I used to be a state senator for 15 years.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I used to be city council member. Today I'm here for various reasons. But I want to tell you first that as a Puerto Rican, as a Hispanic, I want to apologize to you for the conduct of George Juan Merchant. As a Hispanic, I want to apologize.
Thank you.
He's been used. He has been used to destroy you. But we know better than that.
Yeah.
We know better than that.
Thanks, T.
As a minister, president of the New York Hispanic Clergy Organization, I want to tell AOC.
Thank you, Mikey. Tell AOC. Tell her.
This morning, she intended to become a prophet. And she said, even God doesn't want Trump in the Bronx because it's going to rain. Madam Prophet AOC, you have
She's so
become a false prophet.
She is so done.
Look at what a beautiful day. That means that not only you guys want Trump in the Bronx, because if we're going to measure that for the weather, then I would say humbly that even God wants you in the Bronx. And I want to close by saying, Mr. President, I want to join you
Nice.
in having the Bronx great again. Please accept this Democrat, this black Puerto Rican with a kinky hair and a broken English. Please accept my endorsement for you as a president.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
That's huge. Huge. That is so huge.
What a beautiful job. Thank you.
Very, very cool. Very cool. I don't know what the news can say about this. It's not fake. These are actual people from the Bronx. And he's been talking for over an hour and 15 minutes.
Thank you very much. How nice was that? I didn't expect that. Really? That was beautiful. You know, it's always dangerous to do that. You never know what's going to come out. Maybe he'll change his mind coming up, but he doesn't change his mind. That man is a winner. He's a winner and a great man. Thank you very much, Ruben. Also with us is New York native and current U.S. Congressman. He's hot as a pistol. Oh, boy, he has a future. And he's a great friend of mine, Byron Donalds. Come up, please.
Oh, wow. Mr. President, there's more of them here now than when I was up about an hour and a half ago. If there's one thing we know, is that this man was one of the best presidents this country has ever had.
I'm down with that.
And if there's another thing that we know, is that all of you are going to make him the 47th president of the United States.
Yes. They must be cringing at CNN and MSNBC.
Thank you, Byron. Great. What a good future. Here as well as rapper Chef G. Does everybody know Chef? Where is Chef G? Where is he? Come on up, fellas. Rapper Sleepy Hollow.
Never heard of these guys. Must be big in the Bronx. These guys must
Come
be
on up here,
big
fellas.
rappers in the Bronx.
How are you, man? Hey. Oh, I like that. I want to get
He's got
that
some
done.
front.
President Trump.
Oh my God! Look at the necklace on this guy.
One thing I want to say. One thing I want to say. They always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us.
Wow! It's over. It's over. Landslide.
Make America great again.
He brought up two rappers.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Oh, landslide. It's over.
Thank you very much. I like those teeth. I want to find out where you did. I got to get my teeth like that. I want that to happen to me.
It's over.
As somebody with a fantastic future in the Republican Party and beyond, Gavin Wax. Thank you, young Republicans. Gavin, wherever you are. Thank you, Gavin. Adam Solis of New York, Young Republicans, who's been fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good job you're doing. Madeline Brame of Blexit. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you very much. Somebody that's a real star in politics and done an incredible job and so popular in Nassau County. The county executive, Nassau County, Bruce Blakeman. Come up, Bruce, for a second. Come up, Bruce. Where is Bruce? We got to get Bruce. Where is he? That's a long way to come up to hell with Bruce, right? Come on up, Bruce. Come on. This guy is central casting. If I'm doing a movie on a politician, this is the guy I have playing. Come on. That's great.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Both my parents were World War II veterans. Not many people can say about that. They would be shocked and appalled by what's going on in this foreign invasion from our southern border. Nassau County is not a sanctuary county, and when Donald Trump gets reelected, this will not be a sanctuary country. God bless America.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good man. Good man.
Here we go. USA.
Thank you very much.
Sounds like a lot more than 3,500 people.
National Committeeman and Chairman Joe Cairo. Joe, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. And Andrew, thank you very much for being here. Star of the future. I heard you made a good speech. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. We have so many people out there, but we're going to finish this up. This has been, I didn't know. I woke up, I said, I wonder, will it be hostile or will it be friendly? It was beyond friendly. It was a love fest. From the very first day that we take back the White House, I believe we are going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to restore peace through strength. We're going to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of our country. We're going to protect out of our children's classrooms. We're going to keep men out of women's sports. And we will, once and for all, secure our elections. But all of this, saving New York and saving America, starts with telling crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in history, you're fired, like the apprentice. You're fired. Get out. You were terrible. You're destroying our country, Joe. Get out. If you want to help, you must vote. I believe that we can win New York State. We have levels of support that nobody's seen before. I mean, look at this. So register, volunteer, turn out everyone you know. Don't assume it doesn't matter just because you live in a blue city. You live in a blue city, but it's going red very, very quickly. We must work together as a team to win. New York has always been the home of proud patriots like you. You are proud patriots. You love this. You love this city. You love this state, and you love our country. New York was the city loved by Teddy Roosevelt, Norman Rockwell, the great Flo Ziegfeld, General Douglas MacArthur, George Gershwin, Frank Sinatra, and in baseball alone, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Jackie Robinson, and many, many others. It's a city where workers and skilled craftsmen strode across steel beams 80 stories high to build the great Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building and all of the others. It's the city that lit up the shining lights of Broadway, that turned Times Square from a seedy, dirty, long-forgotten area into one of the greatest crossroads of light and glamour anywhere in the world. It's a city that produced generations of everyday American heroes who willingly spilled their blood and gave everything they had to make America into the greatest nation in the history of the world. Above all, this is the place that every one of us here today has been proud to call our home, our town, our city. And we are the ones who are going to make our city great again. It was hard-working patriots like you who built this city, and it is hard-working patriots, and this is something you can say it, and you can say it 1,000,000 times, and you can emblazon it. It's hard-working patriots like you who are going to save our country. You are going to save our country. We're going to get out and vote like never before. We're going to make it too big to rig. Our vote is going to be too big to rig. So one thing they can't guard against, working together, there is nothing we cannot do and no height we cannot achieve. Together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America great again. Thank you, Bronx. Thank you, New York. We love you. Thank you. God bless everybody. God bless.
Well, he slayed it. He absolutely slayed it. I had him coming on stage at about 6:25. Take out the time that he had to take care of the lady that got sick. That means this guy spoke for over 90 minutes or so? Very, very, very cool. Very cool. So I can't play the rest of this because obviously music is playing and I'm having a hard enough time dealing with all the YouTube stuff, so I can't play it, but definitely going to let you see it. Looks like it's actually getting dark in that park. Hope everybody gets out okay. You know there's a bunch of protesters in there that are going to hassle these people on their way home. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. He's still on stage greeting people. Hour and a half. 801. Thank you all. You broke records for me. Thank you very, very much. You broke all kinds of records for coming in. I'm just so happy that you found my channel. There's a lot of videos on here if it's your first time. This is awesome. I mean, at this point, you have to think not only is New York in play, New York can be got. He can definitely take New York. If you're late or if you didn't come in early as I was breaking it down, the only reason why Dementia Joe supposedly won New York is because of the black vote. Rest of New York State is pretty much red. 94% of black people voted for Biden in 2020. Only 6% is what he had. So now if he's close, right now they say he's like 9 points behind Dementia Joe. If he gets just a few people to turn, he can flip New York. And that's not even including, in addition, siphoning off some of the Hispanic market as well. So New York is in play. AOC, sorry, too bad. It is what it is. CNN, MSNBC, nobody gives a shit what you guys are saying anymore. Little old me, well, I'm not little, but little old channel here, I had like 32,000 people watching at one time simultaneously. That's incredible for me. I mean, so just imagine how many people, how many channels were broadcasting this rally, how many people, eyeballs were on this all over the place, millions. And he just needs to siphon off 5 or 6% of the black vote in New York. And I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be the last rally in New York. I would bet he's going to be somewhere else, maybe in Queens, maybe in Staten Island. He's going to be back. I just hope everybody gets out of there safely. I hope there's no problems, but it looks like every single person stayed to the end. It's a very diverse crowd. Black, white, Hispanic, they're all there. What can you say? This is everything I thought it would be. They only allowed, 3,500 people in the venue, and it looks like I saw one tweet where it's not tweet, but one comment said there's like 10,000 people outside the gates. If there were 10,000 people hoping to get in and watching on Jumbotrons, he's going to flip the Bronx, no doubt. Because every one of these people are going to go back to their neighborhood and say, you got to vote for this guy. And word of mouth in these neighborhoods is huge. Absolutely huge. This is absolutely crazy. Thank you guys for tuning in. But you know what? Don't go anywhere. I have 2 more $25 gift certificates to give out in case anybody wants them. And so I'm going to give them out right now before we cut, because I promised I would give them out, and you guys have been generous to me, so I'm giving back as well. So we're at question number 3. Question number 3 is kind of funny. Trump collects souvenirs. He has a pair of shoes from this iconic basketball player. Whose shoes does he have? Come on, give me the name. He has an iconic basketball player's shoes for a $25 gift certificate to Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, let me know if anybody can see this, if you're still here, if you're still looking to play, if you're still, don't go without leaving it here. Nope. Oh, boom, there we go, right off the bat. Bingo. Mr. Cheddar Pepper Prepper. Mr. Cheddar Pepper Prepper was the first one. Yes, he has a pair of Shaq's shoes. Those big 22 size shoes. So Mr. Prepper, what I need you to do so I can get this out to you is go ahead and email me. Come here. Let me put that up on the screen. Go ahead and email me. Oh, gotta get your thing out the way. Email me your name, your real name, and I guess I'd have your email, but go ahead and send me an email right there, and at that point I can go ahead and get you that gift certificate, $25 to Buffalo Wild Wings. So before we go, I got to give out one more. I've got one more I've got to give out, and basically told you guys I was giving out 4. I'm going to give out 4. All right, so before you go, we got one more. Let me see if I couldn't spread them out because he got on stage so quickly. Usually when he gets on stage it takes an hour or so, but this is quickly. So here's one more and then we'll go. So everybody ready? Here we go. This one is going to shock you, all right? These 2 women who hate Trump, absolutely hate Trump, were guests at Trump's wedding to Mar-a-Lago. To Marla Maples. Name one of them. These two women absolutely hate Trump, yet, oh, bam, she got one of them already. That was so quick. I had to put it up on the screen. Yes, the answer to that question is indeed Joy Behar. The other one was, believe it or not, is Rosie O'Donnell. So the theme of today's questions, other than the Shaq one, were people who basically hated Trump now, were very, very much, they loved Trump back in the day. And the only thing that changed was him running for president. That's it. Joy Behar was up in his grill. Rosie O'Donnell was up in his grill. Rob Reiner and his wife were up in his grill. And then all of a sudden he runs for president. He goes after the Democrats and these people freak out. completely freak out. So, Mr. or Miss STGCF Life, you win. And yes, please go ahead and email me your information, your name, and I'll have your email, name and email. Send it there, and I can get you out this gift certificate. So that is going to be the end of where we are tonight. Thank you very much, Mr. Hofer, Brett Hofer, for the $5. Thank you very much. When you guys do these kind of things, it helps me in terms of, since I am a one-man show here, putting together a decent show and in getting these gift certificates and paying what I need to do for shipping for the hoodies, which we'll be giving out as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys will come back. I think he's going to have more and more of these radio rallies. And I hope the jury, they can't be that stupid. The Democrats cannot be so stupid as to see what happened tonight and then go ahead and convict Trump. But my concern is they may indeed do that, but they better know if you convict Trump, you're basically handing him New York. It will be a landslide at that point. So absent any more raids with guns blazing, this guy will be your president if you go ahead and convict him. That's just my thoughts. I hope one of you guys feel the same way. But thank you very, very much for tuning in tonight. I know you had a lot of opportunities to do so, and I greatly appreciate every single one of you and everything, your likes, your donation, everything you guys did. I'll see you again real soon. Gonna get some dinner here late tonight.